You know, this has been a very fun few days. So far, we have shown you a twist on the classic patty melt, which actually made me learn that I love patty melts.
Me too.
I had no idea.
I agree.
And then we also learned how to make a surf and turf burger. Remember that was last week? All this is on our website, TwinCitiesLive.com.
Yes, and today on day 9 of 12 days of grilling, brought to you by the Minnesota Beef Council, we're taking the Italian Caprese salad and putting it in burger form. Here showing us how it's done, we welcome the owner of Golden Fig in St. Paul, Laurie Crowell.
Hi, Laurie. Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Look at you in your fancy pants and your fancy burger.
Oh, it's delicious.
Yeah.
Simple and delicious.
Simple. Okay, so what are we starting with? I'm assuming some beef, right?
So we've got some grass-fed ground beef, just some ground beef. It's the most simple thing. Everybody has ground beef.
Yeah.
You probably have a jar of sun-dried tomatoes that you used half of in something and haven't been able to figure out what to use the rest for. So here's what to use it for.
And
So did you mix it in?
Yeah.
I did mix it in with the ground beef.
And these are the sun-dried tomatoes that are packed in oil.
Yes, because we'll use that oil at a later date. I always say save the oil in those jars, even if the tomatoes are gone, because you can use it in a vinaigrette. You can use it to brush on burgers as they're cooking on the grill.
Good
and it just adds another layer of flavor.
Nice. Okay, so what's all mixed into these burgers?
So in these burgers is just the yummy ground beef and the sun-dried tomatoes and some salt and pepper.
Wow.
And so I've made them into rounds, and then of course when you go to grill them, you always want to flatten them and then make a little indent in the center so they don't turn out to be like a big puck.
No, we don't want that.
If you're making them indoor, is it necessary that you have one of the
fancy
fanciest little grills I've ever seen?
Mama, this is good. Laurie,
it's a fun grill. I will admit to being the queen of not necessary appliances.
Well, when they look this cool.
Yes.
This is good though. But then you can grill this right inside.
You can. In the middle of winter, you could fire up the grill and have to not stand out in the freezing cold weather.
I like this. Okay, so how long do you think we're going to cook this?
So the burgers, I usually like to have them on high for about a minute on each side, and then I like to turn it down so then they stay nice and juicy. I personally prefer them more medium rare.
Okay.
I know many in my house prefer them more well done. So it's really, you can, with this or even on a regular grill, you can adjust the temps depending on what your people want, hotter or colder.
I know that you mentioned grass-fed beef. Did I miss what sort of percentage do you like to go to?
I usually use the 85-15, and I feel like sometimes it's delicious to have a little more fat. Like I love a little more fat in like a meatloaf because it seems to give it more flavor. With grilling, this seems to be my go-to.
Yeah, plus you've got a little bit of oil in there. So, I mean, from the sun-dried tomatoes, so that's
from the sun-dried tomatoes
too.
Yeah, so then in theory what we do is we cook this delicious burger.
Yep.
And see, it cooks pretty quick there on that
really,
grill.
that's good.
So then when they're done, what you're going to do is you're going to put the burgers underneath this little glass dome.
Yeah,
What's
what
up
do you
with
have
the
going on
greenhouse?
here?
So the idea
I
with
thought you
that,
had like a cake plate of cupcakes or something.
No, the idea is, of course, when you take meat off the grill, I always follow the rule of thumb that you want to let it rest for a few minutes because it redistributes all the juices. So then it stays really juicy. So by covering it, it kind of does two things. It melts that yummy cheese you put on top without the cheese getting all over your grill.
Yeah.
And it kind of lets the juices redistribute. So then, while that is doing its thing, I will take a little of the oil from this jar and brush it on the little bun.
Oh, good idea.
And then throw that right on the grill where the burgers
What's this eggy
were.
bun business?
It's an eggy bun.
Boy,
Good guess.
Fabulous.
You know, I'm a big fan of whole wheat breads, but I feel like with a burger, I love a nice, crispy white bun.
Yeah, and it has egg in it.
Boy,
Protein.
you can tell by the look of it. So you lather that up and you put that on the
lather it
grill.
up and then you put it right on the grill. And by the time your cheese is melted, your bun is toasted.
Okay, talk about the cheese, because this is obviously Caprese, the classic tomato, mozzarella, basil, and balsamic, right?
Yes, and so I missed that. We did put some basil in the burger as well.
Good, okay.
Yes. And so then we use the fresh mozzarella, which is really nice and melty, so we put that on. And then usually with the Caprese, you have that balsamic vinaigrette.
Right.
And that's what we are drizzling. Actually, Steve, if you want to grab that plate over there.
Oh boy, here they are.
I'd love to drizzle some stuff here.
In theory.
Oh, look.
Here is your burger, and then you can drizzle this little vinaigrette I shook up right on top.
What's in that?
So that is just balsamic vinegar, olive oil, and salt and pepper.
Oh my gosh.
So instead of a ketchup, you've got this yummy little balsamic-y flavor that really makes it like a Caprese.
I love this idea. Okay, so we got some burger. We're going to give this a try.
Okay.
I think it's pretty delicious, and the tomatoes also keep it really juicy.
Yeah.
He's going for the big one. He's not messing around
Is
with
that
that
okay?
half.
I
That's
know we're
totally
going
good.
off book here, but it looks delicious.
I think it's a really good one, and I love the extra taste of the tomato, and even if they're on the edge, they get a little charred, so it
love
has
that.
more flavor.
You know, sun-dried tomatoes have that really delicious little bit of sweetness to them.
Yes.
That I think is so good. And that cheese is super,
Really
super mild, so
good.
it's just tomatoey and yummy.
Yes, and if you're missing the ketchup, then you have the tomato from the sun-dried tomatoes.
Yeah, I don't even think I'd miss the ketchup because that's
No,
sweet enough.
no, don't put ketchup on this.
Yeah.
It's a Caprese burger.
It's a
You don't put
Caprese
ketchup on your
burger.
Caprese sandwich. Don't put it on the burger.
No,
Yes.
you don't. Oh my gosh, good job, Laurie. This is awesome,
Thanks.
very delicious. Okay, so for this burger recipe, and then all the recipes that we've been making during our 12 Days of Grilling series, go to our website, twincitieslive.com, or do this, download our free recipe app on your smartphone. I'm still holding on to this.
And it's really good. I just put it down because I thought, well, I'm going to have to read. If you do want some more ideas for ground meat and information about beef backers as well, head to the Minnesota Beef Council website. A big thanks to the Minnesota Beef Council for sponsoring Twin Cities Live and this tasty 12 Days of Grilling.
Good job, Laurie. Okay, tomorrow, kid-friendly sliders like peanut butter with strawberry bacon jam. Want to
Whoa.
come back and taste that, Laurie?